Xbox pricing, Call of Duty Multiplayer, and the daily gaming news recap coming right up. Welcome back to Sodi Pop right here on YouTube. Today is Wednesday, September 9th. I'm Maddie, and this is Chatty with Maddie, your source for the daily gaming news recap. I have my drink. Let's chat. All right, to begin with, of course, we had Xbox detail yesterday, the leaked and then confirmed Xbox Series S, yes, the less powerful of the two, and the formerly announced Xbox Series X was officially giving a $499 price tag. Now, again, this is nothing new. We've just kind of been waiting for this to be confirmed. Both are coming out November 10th with a pre-order starting on the 22nd. Hashtag power your dreams. So again, these have been kind of the rumored normal prices. I would say that Xbox Series X was as low as like 400 all the way up to 600 or 700. People were speculating, but everyone expected kind of around that $500 price tag. The same with the Series S, again, as low as 200, 250, which I thought were insane estimates. These are kind of what the expected estimates would have been as far as reasonable prices for these boxes for consumers. Now we do get to see they did release a spec sheet kind of comparing the two. This has been floating around a few places. This has been from Engadget, but I have seen it many places, different spec sheets. So number one, you see the price comparison, $299 to $499. The dimensions, we don't have exact dimensions of the Series S available, but we do know that it's going to be 60% smaller than the Xbox Series X. I'm sure the weight will match that as well. The CPU, the cool thing is that it will have the same exact central processing unit there, just clocked a little bit lower. Now, this doesn't mean too much in terms of graphical fidelity. What I'm betting is that this is a consistent benchmark for developers, so they don't have to develop for multiple CPUs. Usually this affects your FPS or frames per second in games. Again, I would like to state that, that's cool, but I'm running a 2009 Xeon CPU in my computer with a 1616 Super graphics card for GTX, and it's fantastic. I mean, I get really great, fantastic 120 150 frames per second in Rocket League, which again, isn't a super high powered game, but I can run all the latest games really at 1080p or ultra wide or anything. So a CPU is great, but it's not going to be game changing. It's probably going to really help though with things like the normal screen when you're talking about the shop or the Xbox dashboard, which is really a fantastic thing for next gen. I want those things to be instantaneous, if not just feel so much faster, which hopefully they should. The big difference here coming in the GPU, you have a 10.15 teraflop GPU in the Xbox Series X and a 4 teraflop GPU in the Series S. Now again, the Series S is still about 3 times the power of GPU as the Xbox One. The Xbox One wasn't very powerful though. Remember when it came out, it wasn't as powerful as the PS4, and both the PS4 and Xbox One weren't as powerful as what you'd find in PC architecture at the time. So it's pretty underpowered in the GPU era, but we'll get to that later as to again what this all means. Memory, or the RAM, 16 gigabytes versus 10 gigabytes in the Series S. Again, that's going to affect a number of things, but we'll get to that. The big thing here, internal storage, 1 terabyte in the Series X, where it's 512 gigabytes in the Series S. And again, the Series S is all digital, so you will need to install and remove games, and we'll get to that a little bit later. And then of course, no physical media. Again, there is going to be external storage that can be added in, and output resolution 4K at 60 frames per second for the Series X and 1440p at 60 frames per second for the Series S. That's great. So the aforementioned 2K, but very few people have 2K monitors, and I'm sure most people will skip right from 1080p, skipping past to 4K. So let's look a little bit further into this. We do have confirmed that there's going to be some things coming out for this, Xbox Gamepass. That's really the star of the show. When you break things down, the Series X and the Series S, it's not really bringing anything new to the table. Remember, they don't really have any exclusive Xbox games. You can get everything on the PC and everything's been guaranteed for Game Pass day one. Again, the real star of the show is Game Pass. If you already have a PC and you have a mid-level graphics card, or you can just upgrade your graphics card to a 10 series GTX, or like the 16, like I have a 1660, you know, for 150 bucks, for especially for some of the 10 series cards, a used one. I mean, you can play all these Xbox games day one for 15 bucks a month. Also, it's $1 currently for the PC beta. I've had a really great experience with it. It sits at a really weird place. I think the Series X does. The Series S, if you are looking to upgrade your computer and you're like, I don't want those 300 graphics cards, those 30 series graphics cards are going to be $500 plus, and maybe I have a really old computer and I have to update all this other stuff, plus I don't have a solid state drive. The Series S at $300 plus the $15 a month for the Game Pass is an awesome deal. You're going to be getting all this stuff day one, and xCloud is coming in, supposed to be in September, and we have EA Game Pass, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So we can see that they are launching in November 10th, starting at $24.99 a month, coming with Game Pass Ultimate and confirmed EA Play. So if you have any EA games that you want to play, so all the Madden games, FIFA, UFC games, Garden Warfare, Plants vs. Zombies, which I really enjoy the Plants vs. Zombie games. I mean, you can have all those games unraveled as well. We'll take a look at what's on it. So coming out November 10th, you add that in, you can get it at $24.99 a month, again, over the course of 24 months. I don't recommend you necessarily do it. I always like buying it up front. Then you have it, you can sell it, you can do whatever you like with it. You don't have this bill that may be adding up. This coming from Jeff Grubb. Again, he's over at VentureBeat. He confirms that yes, Xbox for the S and X, it will be taking a loss, and it seems to be taking a bigger loss on the Series S. I'm sure they have tighter margins on the Series S. Now, this is a pretty normal thing for actual console creators, that they do take a loss on the console itself because they're getting you into the ecosystem to sell you the games, and they're getting 30% plus on a lot of these games. That seems to be normal. What remains to be seen is, what will PlayStation do? Will they take a loss? I mean, at least they're going to have to come in at the $500 price point to be competitive with the Series X. I think that's their real competition, is the Series X. I think as long as they come at that or below it, it would be amazing if they did a $400 for the digital, $450 for the PlayStation 5. They'd do a really good job. And then again, the Xbox is all about Game Pass, which you can also get on PC or the Xbox One if you still have it. So keep that in mind. Microsoft, we are seeing Microsoft does confirm that the Series S will support the expansion cards. So Seagate is making these expansion cards. These expansion cards will be like up to 1 terabyte. Now, they will most likely be expensive because they are proprietary. Seagate is the only maker so far, and they said no, it will not allow third-party makers. They partnered with Seagate. They're going to specifically make these. So a few things here from Engadget. Microsoft has confirmed that, like the Series X, the Series S will support the Seagate storage expansion card that will allow you to add 1 terabyte of additional storage with the full speed and performance of the Xbox Velocity architecture, according to Xbox Wire. So if you're worried that the Series S will quickly run out of storage given the size of many games, it might come as sort of comfort for you to know that you can expand that. However, we don't yet know how expensive Seagate's cards will be. Equivalent PC drives cost around $200 for what it's worth. Elsewhere, Microsoft said that Xbox Series S has 4 teraflop GPU, which delivers around 3 times the GPU performance of the Xbox One. That confirms the long-standing rumors that the GPU, which is significantly less powerful than the 12.15 teraflop one to the Series X. So we're going to start putting some of the story together. Again, Xbox Game Pass for PC. This is the beta. You can get Game Pass normally for $14.99. For the PC, you can get it for $1. So just keep that in mind. It's now going to include EA Play, which you can see has Star Wars Battlefront 2, Need for Speed, has Plants vs. Zombies. It's going to have the Madden games, FIFA. So really phenomenal deal when you get Xbox Game Pass. And then, of course, you can add it to a Series X, or PC, so keep that in mind. EA Play, again, it has Rocket Arena, Need for Speed, Plans for Zombie Battle for Neighborville, NHL 20, FIFA 20, Madden 20, Sea of Solitude, Anthem, Battlefield 5, of course all the older games of FIFA, Madden, all that great stuff, Unravel 2, UFC 3, Burnout Paradise. There are quite a few pages of this, so you are getting an insane amount of games for a very reasonable, very low price. Now, a lot of people were wondering, what about if I have Game Pass Ultimate and EA Play? How's that going to work? Major Nelson here, this is coming from Reddit via a Twitter post that Major Nelson made. Users who have both Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and EA Play purchased through Xbox will have their EA Play membership canceled, and any remaining time over the 50 days will be rounded up and converted to the nearest month of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate at a ratio of 3-to-1 based on ERP, which is awesome. So you're not losing out if you have both memberships currently. You'll actually be gaining ahead. So what does this all mean when coming back to Xbox? We have this $499 price point for the Series X confirmed and Xbox Series S. I think, again, the Series S is going to be the de facto 1080p gaming machine if you want something that's reasonable with the Game Pass. And man, you're going to have a really great experience at a really reasonable price. Will it be the next gen powerhouse? Absolutely not. No. You're going to have to look to the new generation of graphics cards. You're going to have to look to the PS5 and Xbox Series X. PS5, again, that's going to be if you want to play the PS exclusives. We have to see if that hard drive, that extra special hard drive that isn't really available anywhere else quite yet, we're going to have to see how that's going to affect the PlayStation exclusives, what kind of experience it's going to bring. Seems like it's going to be pretty awesome from what we've been hearing from developers. The Series X, on the other hand, you know, in my mind, it's, do I want to upgrade my PC or get a Series X? Is my PC old enough where I have to buy an NVMe drive? I have to upgrade my motherboard, and it's going to be $1,000. Well, I can get the $500 Series X plus Game Pass, or I get a new graphics cards, Game Pass, and then I can play all the other PC stuff. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I think the Series S is a really awesome value. Will it bring that fully next gen experience? No, it's going to be missing out on like complete 4K. Yes, it will have a very fast hard drive. Again, the differences in hard drives between PlayStation and the Series X/S remains to be seen. There might be very little difference. And again, I think when it comes to third-party games like Assassin's Creed, it's going to have very little difference between the top-end stuff. So the Series X, PS5, and some of this stuff on PC. Again, the top-end graphics cards on PC are again going to blow consoles out of the water most likely. But you know, if you don't have a PC with a super fast drive, that might lead to load times. There's a whole bunch of question marks when it comes to like the finer details of next gen, but I think you're going to be pretty happy with a lot of these choices. I'm so glad that Xbox is bringing in Game Pass. Hopefully PlayStation can match it with something like their own streaming service and make it really, really good, because PS Now right now does not compete on the same level. It would be fantastic if they got it to do that, but we seem to be getting closer to that Netflix of gaming future that I think a lot of us want, while still hopefully retaining a lot of the big AAA first party games. Alright guys, if you haven't yet, please like, follow, subscribe, comment down below. Each little form of engagement, you letting me know how everything is, what you think about the Series X, all that great stuff, just helps my channel reach more and more people. Of course, you sharing with anyone if you're already subscribed helps a ton. And let me know what you'd like to see from me below. Again, today I should be hopefully done building out my office space. I can do few more things such as streaming, live streams, games. I do have a few things on the docket for exactly what I want to stream, and some more different camera setups. So very excited for that. Let me know below if you want me to check out anything in particular. Moving on to Call of Duty Modern Warfare Cold War, sorry, not Modern Warfare, Black Ops Cold War. Always get those confused. Now we do have the multiplayer fully revealed. This coming from Activision's own website. They will be having an open beta early access for the multiplayer. So the first weekend is PlayStation exclusive. October 8th through 9th, PS4 early access. October 10th through 12th will be the PlayStation 4 open beta. The second weekend will be the crossplay beta, October 15th through the 16th, Xbox PC Early Access and PS4 Open Beta. And then on the 17th through the 19th of October, open all platforms. So you get a little bit of multiplayer beta there. Very exciting. You can read further details if you really want to. So the rest of the open beta period, running from Saturday, October 17th to Monday 19th, is accessible to all players, PS4, Xbox One, or PC. If you have an Xbox One, Xbox Live Gold is required to play. If you have a PC, Battle.net account is required to play. Other than these prerequisites, it is an internet connection, and you should have everything you need to play. So just keep that in mind. You of course will need a Battle.net, so maybe sign up for that early, and an Xbox Live Gold subscription. And a few new multiplayer modes they are adding to the game, and they do go over some maps here. Expect to see familiar core modes such as Team Deathmatch, Search and Destroy, Domination, and Kill Confirmed brought back, alongside new ways to play like VIP Escort, Combined Arms, and Fire Team. So let's take a look exactly what those are. VIP Escort is a new 6v6 objective core game mode. Teams either protect or subdue a randomly selected player who becomes VIP. This VIP only gets a kitted out pistol, smoke grenade, and UAV for team intel, and the satisfaction of having up to 5 other squad mates defend them. These protectors must escort the VIP to an extraction point as they fend off the attacking team whose goal it is to neutralize the VIP before they escape. A non-VIP who dies during the round is out until the next one, but a down player at 0 health can defend themselves in a last stand or be revived by a teammate to get back into the fight. So that sounds actually pretty fun, and it's cool that the person is knocked out, so the defending team can knock out a few players and make the odds even more in their favor. The other round, or the other mode, Combined Arms, a 12v12 battle that combines infantry and vehicular gameplay. Combined Arms is a larger scale mode where the action is tailored to the environment that takes place within. Depending on the map, vehicles such as tanks, snowmobiles, attack helicopters, or wake runners will amplify the advance and the action alongside traditional gunfights, allowing for jaw-dropping moments right in the middle of intense engagement. At launch, expect to play multiple Combined Arms maps across a handful of Combined Arms modes, including Domination, which places multiple flags around given map for teams to capture and defend. And then finally, Fire Team, I think, is probably the biggest mode. Fire Team is now a new 40-player category of Black Ops multiplayer with up to 10 teams of 4, where the action is centered around not just operators in the battlefield, but is also the environment they battle in. The first available Fire Team game type is called Dirty Bomb, which we'll have more information on as we get closer to launch. So it sounds pretty cool. There's multiple teams all battling for a single objective. It sounds really interesting. I'll be really curious to see how that actually plays out. So very exciting. Also, we have a couple of game release announcements coming from Ubisoft. Watch Dogs Legions will launch on Xbox One, PS4, Stadia, PC. Stadia is still a thing. And for October 29th, and in next generation of November 10th, because of course that's when Xbox is launching. Will PS5 launch then? Probably pretty close to around then. And then Assassin's Creed also says it will be launching on the Series X and S November 10th. So we have a couple of really, hopefully, good games at launch. I hope Assassin's Creed Valhalla is as good as it sounds. I'm finally interested. For PlayStation 5 news, we have some cool screens coming from Game Informer for Kena Bridge of Spirits. This was one of my more, or I guess I was more excited for this game than a lot of other games I saw at the PS5 event. It really looks like a Pixar movie. Again, this is from a studio that really made shorts using a lot of these kind of movie quality assets. You can see, of course, this looks very much like a Pixar movie. I'm going to jump down to these other cute little guys that are with you. Going to jump down to this little, almost looks like a training section. Of course, you probably get to see the village here a little bit up, down further. Looks really, really fantastic, very detailed. I'm actually very excited for this Kena Bridge of Spirits game. So go ahead and check out these Game Informer Spirits. Now, the developers of this did come out and say that to launch this game, again, from the game isn't started, boot up the PS5, you click launch on the PS5 for this game, it takes less than 2 seconds. they said it wasn't even worth putting in a loading screen. They had designed loading screens for this, but they said it's not even worth putting it in the PlayStation 5. So not even coming up from like, okay, it's suspended, it's from boot. So that just gives you a little insight into how fast the PS5 drive is in this thing. Super exciting for that. Also, we got to see Demon Souls box art was leaked, and some cool new screenshots is coming from Twisted Voxel. Demon Souls is going to be great. It's such a fun game. This was, of course, the first Demon Souls, or the first Souls-like game that I played, and it is the one that started the whole thing. It's going to look so good. And we got to see a couple more screens. Again, this looks like from... I can't remember what area that is. That's not the first area. And then, of course, it looks like maybe the Capra Demon there. So very, very exciting. It's going to look fantastic. Of course, it'll be nice after dying so much. Instant restarts, no loading screens. And then finally, we got to see 25 years ago today, PlayStation launched in North America. The first game that comes to mind coming from Sony itself. Did you have a PlayStation 1? When did you have it? And what was your favorite game? For me, of course, Final Fantasy VII really wraps up that era. You got Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I think Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 came out on this as well. You also had not only Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but all the amazing RPGs. Anything from Squaresoft was so good on it. I played so much from Squaresoft on that. And then the Resident Evil games. You had Parasite Eve, which was so good. So many good games came out on the PlayStation 1, and I'm glad a lot of Capcom is going back to a lot of the originals and remaking them with completely new updated graphics, because it's a lot of fun to revisit those, but sometimes the PlayStation 1 classics are really hard to look at. So very excited for that. Alright guys, well that about does it. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Chatty with Maddie on Wednesday. I hope you have a phenomenal day. Don't forget to subscribe on the 3Ts and IG, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram at SodiPopMedia. Have a great day. My cat's trying to get out. And remember,
Be yourself.
and eat a cookie. Bye.